Hello! Hi guys, good afternoon here.
So we're gonna try to do one in Portuguese right after this one. So hopefully we can stick with the 30-minute timing. But anyways.
Yeah, so people from Brazil, brasileiros, nossos amigos, família, nós vamos fazer um outro a pedidos daqui a meia hora. Quando a gente acabar esse, a gente vai fazer um em português. E daí a gente vai falar mais ou menos tudo, tentar falar mais ou menos tudo em português, tá bom? Até daqui a pouco. Agora vamos em inglês. Então vamos conversar. Oh, no, let's go. Alright, so about the last week, well, we have to update. Okay, so one thing we want to tell you guys right off the bat was like something that crazy that happened to us. So Luke is recovering. Luke is saying hi. Luke is recovering really good, and
He actually pretty much back to normal now.
Yeah.
With his stitches are gone and
the dressing took it out. Yeah. So everything is good. He's doing good. Like he's literally like he's the biggest boy I ever met, because one day I actually told the PT, I said to her, I don't know if he's gonna do good today because he looks a little tired. And when he's a little tired, we feel like he's a little bit more floppy. So he's a little bit more like, you know, his tone is a little lower. So I told her, like, I think he's a little tired. She's like, okay, no problem, let's see. And then she puts him in and she started, you know, she's like, maybe he's just awaking because he's waking up really late, like 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
Yeah, he wakes up late.
Yeah. So she's like started stretching him and started doing some exercise with his legs and stuff. And then she's like, should we try some squats, Luke? And then she did the squats like, I don't know, 2 weeks later. Like
Not even 2 weeks after the...
No, but that was Monday, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it.
So he's like, he did the squats like really good. And then I'm like, okay, great. And then she's like, why don't we try to sit up? And I was kind of nervous actually. And then she put him sitting up and he was like, fine. And if you go on his Facebook, I posted a video of him sitting up and like doing some shoulder stuff. Like,
yeah, he did stuff that he didn't do before.
Yeah, like really good. Yeah. So he was doing good, right? And then the other day we went outside with his car. He has a little car adapter car that high schoolers adapted for him, and so we kind of do the wheel, but he does the power.
Driving,
yeah. So he was doing it, and we met a friend, we met a neighbor, and then his name is Luke too. Yeah. And then he did it for like an hour, right, back to back, and like really good. And I'm like, oh, he's doing so great. You know, and then I'm like, why don't we go outside of the neighborhood? Because we always go inside. It's like, why don't we go outside of the neighborhood? And then Rich was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, why not? It's going to be great, you know? And then he said, and then Bolt was with us. Our dog actually was with us. And then he said, like, okay, I'm going to just leave Bolt and we go. I'm like, okay. And then I start going, and he's like, do you need the amble bag?
Which is that one.
Which is this. It's like, if anything doesn't work, like his machine doesn't work, we use this. And if nothing else works, he has to breathe on his own. But anyways,
and we usually have that with us.
Yeah, so we usually like, that's like an emergency, but well, I tell you my part of the story after. So I'm like, no, he's fine. He's gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We're fine. Let's go without it. So we went, and then we have like a little grass, like it's a little hill that we go up to, and then we can see like, you know, more things, and then we can see the mountains and stuff. So we usually go there with his stroller, and I'm like, why don't we go up the hill with the car? It's gonna be like I don't know, like track or like, you know, with cars, he's gonna bump, it's gonna be nice, different. And we're just like, yeah, okay, let's go. So we just started pushing him. But,
it's pretty inclined. It's because you have two choices. You can go through the sidewalk, which is like a normal human being would do it, and then there's one you can cut to the grass, but it's like it's a little inclined.
Yeah, so like Richard was pushing him, and you can see, I don't know if you guys can see here. Like he was pushing him, and his vent is on the back there, right? I can have a video of it. Like, see, like Richard's helping him and pushing him. And then the vent is on the back, and all of a sudden, right after this video, what happens?
The vent falls down.
Which is fine. Usually the vent falls sometimes anywhere. And then, but the thing is, when a special piece broke, and it can be fixed
Exactly.
right away, it can be fixed.
It broke exactly where
actual...
it connects to the vent,
okay.
and where the cable, you know, where the air and the pressure goes through to him.
Yeah. So then we're like, what are we gonna do? I was kind of shocked, so I was like, maybe I can fix this. And I was trying to put it in and like hold it with my hand with, you know, the air, like not the air, but like, you know,
trying to cover the broken part.
And we're just like, no, we have to go. And then I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, what if I run home and get the bag and then come back? It's like, no, we don't have time. So there's one thing. Luke can breathe on his own without the machine. However, in Florida, we were like up to an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
However, we haven't tried here because, you know, with all the altitude change and everything, yeah. So we didn't try, and then we went to the doctor. We're like, can we start trying? And sometimes we move him around and we leave him without the vent.
Yeah, but it's...
Yeah. And then we're like, and then the doctor's like, oh, because we're gonna change his circuit, and actually it's gonna happen in 2 weeks. I wanna do it after that. So his pressures are controlled, we know what to do, I'm like, okay. So when that happened yesterday, 2 days ago,
Monday.
we're like, we actually panicked. Which never happens, and I don't know why we didn't keep it together.
You know, I keep telling you, it's not that we panic. You know, like, my point was, when I saw that happened, it's like, okay, you know, when we do the off the vent type of things that they call sprint, we usually do it on a controlled environment. We have the bag, and we have the machine that we can turn it on right away. And you know, we usually what happens when you take him off, he usually has secretions right away, which, you know, can plug that. But when you suction, you're taking the air out as well. Yeah. So, you know, like I explained to Kara, like, it's not that I freaked out, it's just like we freaked out. But
like after I came to my sense that we can't do anything and we have to run, I'm like, okay, we're in trouble. So
and I was holding the car so he wouldn't go back down.
Yeah, that's another thing that was hard.
Yeah.
Because the car would go down the hill, and we are now so now Luke is disconnected, right, from the vent.
I can't let the car go.
We have to take him out of the car and it's hard because like his legs are down, so usually like we have to, you know, pay attention and then we have to go and we have to run. So we're just like, just leave everything behind. So he was able to get him out of the car, and he was fine. He was without the vent, he was fine. And then we ran. We were like half a mile or no?
Yeah, almost half a mile
from the house. So we're like, okay, we're gonna run. And then I get one in one arm I had the vent, and the other arm I had the section, and we ran.
Yeah, well, I picked him up, you know, like he's 25 pounds, and I'm literally sprinting down the road to get to the apartment.
Yeah, he got a little scared that we were running with him, and he was like bouncing.
Yeah, he didn't like that as much.
Let's go. let's go. He's crying. He's crying. Let's go. And I'm like, great. And then we got to the gate, and the gate we have to open, and his keys were inside his pocket with the zipper like closed. I was like, what? And then a neighbor saw us running in the machine, like beeping, because we didn't even have time to like turn off the machine because he wasn't on it. And then the neighbor opened the gate for us, and then we ran home, and we got to the door.
Then she needed to open the zipper and get the key because the door was locked, which is something that we never do. It's like he's locked the door when we go out around here. But
by then Luke was already like.
He was fine. He just had secretion. So like as soon as we got home, we turned it on because we have two vents. So we turned on the bedside vent, and I connected him, and then like it was a matter of less than a minute. He had secretion, so but it was just like
and then after it happened, and he was fine, right?
Oh, he was fine.
I went to grab the stuff, and he was fine. We were just like
the big issue that I had is like I didn't have the bag to bag him, and the machine was broken. So with that, like it's okay if he start choking on his saliva, like I have nothing, literally nothing like that I can use.
Well, we had a suction, but if we suction him, we would take air from him, and then that wouldn't be helpful.
I can't, there's nothing I have in hand to help him. So that was like way crazy, and I never thought I could sprint with him in my hands that fast. We were easily going a 7-minute pace carrying everything.
You told me, I was like
she was like, when I look at Karen was like riding up in the air like this. That's how fast we were going. Like at one point it felt like she was flying with two machines like right next to her.
And then after everything calmed down, we're like, wow, we could have gone like way worse than crazy.
That was crazy, and it's funny because, like we usually, like, even when we go to the doctors, everybody said like you guys are so good because you guys have all the emergency plans and everything. Like we carry a lot of stuff, but we have everything and something happened. And then that day, for some reason, like we didn't have the umbu bag and we didn't have the...
And the way I planned stuff, for a second I thought maybe we have an extra one of that thing that broke, that little piece that broke. And then I was like, maybe we have it. I'm like, no, I don't, because I have an extra one of everything. But
when we go far from the house, we usually take an extra circuit. But... like it was, and then it was so, like the guy who opened the door for us, it was like magic, like I am coming close to
on the floor. And
the phone flew. We left the car in the mountain, in the hill there, and we went to pick it up later on. But when that guy came and opened the door, it was almost like an angel, right? Because it was. Like in the middle of the craziness, I just saw the guy coming up and boom, and he opened the door for us. So I guess it's kind of like, I think like for everybody that was watching the scene, like when you Luke is floppy, so when you pick him up, his arms like fall down.
Especially if you're running.
Especially if you're running and bouncing. So I can imagine somebody looking at a kid with the arms hanging out like this, and two parents running like
and the
like
machine
sprinting,
beeping.
the machine beeping, and
He's like, okay, this is it. The guy, we saw the guy the next day, and he's like, everything worked out. We were at the pool actually. He's like, well, I guess everything worked out.
She's like, no. So we explained to him that he was fine. It's just like, not having anything to help Luke in case, as a backup. That was the main issue. But the good thing is we have the other vent right next on the bedside, so it's just like put him on bed, turn it on, and
that
like
makes a difference for sure.
it made a huge difference. So but that was our crazy moment of the week.
Yeah. Well, it's getting warmer here too, and we've been doing some swimming, which Luke loves it.
Yeah, and it's so good for him, like in for therapy.
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday we did speech therapy by the pool, and it was funny because seeing all that movement and being outside, he actually vocalized a lot more.
Yeah, he loves the pool and he loves to watch the kids in the pool.
Yeah, so that's the good thing about Colorado. I heard that the weekend is gonna be like back to 50s again, but other than that, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And as we talked last week, we were talking about possibly the second child.
Yeah.
Mommy tried to forget about that, but
Yeah.
I didn't. So
Well,
I let her talk.
Well, I really think it's going to be beneficial for Luke, and I think I said that before.
Yes, you did.
And I think I have brothers. Yeah, you like it, right? I have brothers, and we grew up like really close, and we were like, you know, to have an idea, we all did triathlon together, like, you know, we swam, and what one brother wanted to do, the other two did it, and although I was a girl, I was always around boys, so I think it made me a better person, and it made me realize a lot of things. Our situation is different because we don't know for how long, but we know Luke is gonna be with us for, you know, more than the other kids would. So, well, one thing I think it's first right now, like how he can benefit from having a brother right now or a sister right now, like having an input. All he has is us, and we don't have cousins around. Well, we just met a neighbor, but she might move out anyways. But it's different. It's different from when there is someone that is blood. And I know they can help each other. So it's just that it's a lot of work. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but I technically work for Luke for 15 hours every day. So I can't get out of the house without him. Everything I do, I have to be, it's not everything I do, everything Luke's do, I have to be taking care of him. So it is a lot of work, and you know, Mother's Day is coming, and it's a universal day,
Yeah.
like celebration, because it's for a reason. It's, you know, like it's a lot from the moms. Although Richard's like an amazing dad and he's really present. In the beginning, all mamas out there know it's a lot from the mom, and well, I didn't breastfeed Luke, but I pumped for 10 months, and that was rough. And just the thought that, you know, like if I didn't want to do it, or if I felt like that they were so tired, I could compromise his food or, you know, his nutrition for the rest of, you know, the year. So it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of like what I eat, what I don't eat. If I do this, if I don't do that, it's like on me, you know. And I think breast milk is the best. Like, you know, if you can do it, it's the best for the kid, especially in the first year. And it was really good for Luke, and because there was so much going on, I felt pressured in my head that was the only thing I could do for him. So that was a lot of work. And I know having another baby and having that demand will be a lot. Yeah. But the fact that we wake up like every 3 hours anyways, we Luke pretty much, and the sleep deprivation, it wouldn't be a problem because we already trained for it, actually. Actually, I read something a friend of mine posted the other day. She's a special needs mom too, and she's like, well, remember those times that you had a newborn and you couldn't really sleep, you had to wake up every 3 hours? Okay, so just realize that parents with special needs, that's what they do for their life, most of their lives. So, yeah, pretty much. It's not like I know, and I felt that way. When you breastfeed, you actually feel tired because you're like taking energy out of you. When you wake up for Luke, it's not like that, It's kind of nice sometimes when he's awake and he's like smile, he's blow kisses.
But you still didn't answer.
What?
What we were going to talk about it.
No, so well, it's funny because I told Richard I made a decision. But there's so much to think about. And it's a lot.
And? People are waiting for it. They want to know.
No, I think we're really close to. Well, I know it's not gonna happen overnight. We're not pregnant yet. But we're really close to that decision. I am. Richard's already past that. I don't know if you guys agree, but he pressures me a little bit because of the age, and I'm like, oh, you're not getting any younger. I'm like, thanks for that.
Oh, and then the older you get, the higher the chance of having twins. So there's no need to have the risk,
That's not your problem.
What?
No, he just say like, oh, the older you get, it's harder, and I get it, the older I get.
And plus,
it could be like more
my thing for convincing Carol, it's also too like, you don't want to get to the point where one kid's in school and she's like, okay, I maybe gonna go back to study now or something like that, where then having another kid, you have to go over everything over again. So it's easier if you have closer age that you can put, one in school, the other one in preschool, and then so on and so forth. I think it's a lot easier to manage than actually. It's not even the age itself, but the age with Luke and the next baby. So
yeah, and even if it doesn't work out, that we don't have another one, I get it. My having a kid made me realize you don't want that anymore. No. Okay, I'll give you this one. Having a kid made me realize that. We live selfish lives, right? Or selfish, yeah, a little bit. Not in us, but we're it's not like selfish. It's the way it's supposed to. Like you think about yourself, and you wanted to, be successful, and this and that and that. And then when you have a kid, you just become selfless. Your life is about your kid. And I was really career-oriented before, and if I have the time and everything, I'll come back to that. But right now, it's not really my focus. And really having Luke and having him healthy and having him improving and having him learning, it's
That's
my
our
focus.
main focus.
Yeah, it's my focus. And as long as he's okay, as long as he's happy, as long as everything goes well, I'm fine. I'm gonna be always fine and satisfied with my life. So I think if you think from that perspective, having another kid is just adding to a good pattern, where we taught Luke really well, and then you have a kid that's gonna share that, and it's gonna keep it going with the way we think that things can go, and also it's gonna give him company, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and so we're very close. We actually, if it is a girl, we already have a name. We're just not gonna say it, but and it's not Leia. It's very important to know. We're not gonna have Luke and Leia. But I think that the idea it's maturing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty strong, so like.
Yeah, and if we decide.
I'm ready, but for the dad, especially in the beginning, it's of course the dad's gonna help in other stuff in the house, but like I know that I can carry the baby and then I can breastfeed, so like that's more like the mom decision. Of course, I'm gonna help as much as I can, but is also her body as well that we're talking about. So
yeah. Yeah, we think about eventually Luke going to school. We're actually thinking now about not now for like in a year, maybe preschool. We know for him it's like, well, he's here. I don't know. I think it's in the States, but they have really good programs where. They go visit the school, they learn about, the child's needs, and the parents actually can talk to the classes about, the class about the child's needs and say like, the wheelchair is not a toy, it's how he moves, and this is not, supposed to be touched, and this and that. So it's a really nice, it's really welcoming and, for kids with disabilities. So I'm really confident about that in that sense. The only thing is that he's gonna have an aide, and she's gonna have to be trained. And we're gonna have to really like trust her at least in the beginning until Luke can say like I need suction, or he can suction himself. And
I think having a sibling is good too. In terms of with similar ages is good. For the fact that it's something somebody either bully him or something goes on in school, there is another person in the family that can kind of step up. And I learned this because I had two other brothers that like they always defended me, at least outside of the house. Inside of the house was a different story, but at least outside of the house, I knew they always had my back. So I think that's another good reason. Not that Luke is gonna be bullied, which if you go to my YouTube channel, like I explain a story that happened there in the supermarket before, but like it's not only that, but I think it's good to know that somebody can have your back.
Yeah.
So. But that means we are, I will say, 90% sure.
Yeah.
So I got 10% more to work on it. But other than that, until then, I had to keep cleaning the house really, really good too.
Exactly.
Cooking, cleaning, and all that. So I can prove to her that she gonna have as much help as we want. But
yeah. I am a little of a planner, but...
A little?
Yeah, I'm a planner. So...
A planner and a thinker.
Yeah. But I learned with kids, you cannot really plan so much. And, things happened, like, we planned so much about Luke, and then everything, happened in different ways. And and it worked out, right? But it wasn't the way we planned. Like, we throw the bird plan, the garbage, and...
Well, that's one thing. I talked to a few parents before, and like the other day I was actually watching someone reading like what expect when you're expecting, and what to expect from the first year. But like, truth is, every kid is different, and they have their own plan, and like you gotta go by your intuition. It's nothing. The truth is, it's nothing you can do. It's there, for me, there's no way to be prepared. You need just to be ready to receive a kid and love as much as you can, and go with your intuition, because the reality is every kid is different, and they have their own plans. So And that's what I tried to explain to Carol. Like, yeah, if we keep, like trying to figure out the perfect timing and the perfect plan for this, and that, it's not gonna happen because there's no perfect timing. But if we are mentally ready to receive another soul into this household, then that's all we can be. You're gonna be as ready as it can be if you think like that. So that's,
and the kid is gonna come over like already knowing that it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
So we were close, and we
very close, I would say.
We have, what I was gonna say is like, I think the biggest more important, the thing that is more important for making a decision of having a kid, I think it's when you have that time to make a decision, right? But like to having a kid, it's like having a solid relationship, because I think it's important to have a husband and a wife that,
they're ready.
They're like a team.
Yeah.
Because, as you all guys know, like whoever has kids, it's all about both. It's not like the mom. It's a lot of work, physical work in the beginning. But if the dad is not there to help out when the kid is sleeping and wakes up and doesn't need to be fed, it's hard. So
both energies gotta be.
Yeah. So we
gotta
are
be there.
We're together for almost 13 years, and we already went through, ups and downs, and a lot of things that, financial stuff and things that were harder and easier. And we moved from Brazil to here, and we stayed 1.5 years apart,
yeah.
and then we had Luke, and it was like, a whole year pretty much of, not a whole year, but like half a year pretty much of like insanity and, hard work.
It was more than half a year.
Yeah, and so we've been through a lot, and we're still strong. So I think that's an indication that we're ready for. We'll be ready for another kid. We can make that work, as long as the dad helps mom a lot.
And as the day goes by, we see Luke getting really strong. Like the other day I was putting him to sleep, and we hold him up to see the stars, because he has stars in his room. And for the first time I saw actually him swallowing. Like I felt him, like he did a big effort, but he swallowed his saliva. So I was like so shocked, but because that's something he never done it. But as time goes by, we see Luke getting stronger and stronger, and like our main goal with him is get him to be as independent as he can be. And I think the time is coming, and with the wheelchair, he always gonna need our help. But I think with the wheelchair, he's gonna get more independence, and
he's tolerating things much more. Like, for example, that day that happened, if it was back in the days, he would be freaking out.
Oh yeah,
and
he'll be blue by then.
Yeah. So he's tolerating things, like sometimes, something happens like by mistake, and before he would like freak out and he would cry, and then now he's like calmer. So it means that he's getting more mature. Although we know that he wants what he wants when he wants, and he's
got a strong personality.
Yeah, he's showing his personality. He's gonna understand better. So, all right. So
we're gonna go in Portuguese now. We're gonna end this video, and then we're gonna go into the Portuguese.
And next week we'll be back. Keep up with us. Keep up with the Wygands.
If you can, we kind of try to do something instead of keeping up with the Kardashians, which they. So we're trying to do something like weekly that are a lot more inspiring than Kardashians, of course. So we made it, and you can go to the website, go look Wygands.foundation, and you're gonna see that I'm trying to build up the reasons why we want to do this and all that. So we decided to call kind of like Keeping Up with the Wygands. So it's kind of like, I would say, it's a lot better than Kardashians. Because Kardashians, they don't bring anything good to this world. I can't stand it. But so we try to make it kind of fun and inspiring. So yes, if you can go to the website, go look Wygan.foundation. It sounds weird, but it's not .com or anything, just .foundation, and you'll be able to see all the stuff that we are planning with the foundation and working on it. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you have any comments or anything like that, or you don't enjoy it,
or questions, anything,
or
we can always
criticizing or whatever you want to do, just contact us.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
I will see you in Portuguese in a little bit.
You say bye bye, Luki.
Say bye bye.
Bye bye.